seen OD just have some really rough games, but what's your confidence level in this hero emerging, especially so early on?
They have to have something in mind for it, right? Because you got banned in the previous game. Maybe in game 1 as well. So maybe D2 Hustlers are going to run some like offlane OD where you go like the Aether Ags build and you just be this saving god where you disrupt the glimpse and basically get nullified, right? Like, you can't get glimpse back. Actually, is that the interaction? Or am I thinking of it differently? I have a weird feeling that the interaction with OD is you get Astral, but when you come out of Astral, maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. It's pretty early in the morning. We'll wait and see what we get in the game. But obviously the idea behind the OD is you want to try and have a hero that's able to save up against. So the glimpse is an issue for you, but it does leave you open to some counters. I thought maybe Oldg were going to try and go for something. A sniper has been something that's been a very traditional OD counter in the past, but kind of keeping it secure with the clockwork for D2 Hustle. So, I mean, it's ballsy. You're in game number 3 against Oldg and you first pick an OD and nobody plays. I mean, you have to have an idea for it.
They did get banned out against them in game 2 by Oldg. Oldg felt like this hero did have enough legs that they needed to watch out for it. And Clockwork, we've seen just how good this hero can be throughout the course of the day, so glad that they've gotten this for themselves. However, this does mean that Oldg can snag the Nature's Prophet, which had been banned against them both games prior to this. And now it is going to be in their hands. Nature's Prophet plus Disruptor. Their map presence feels pretty extreme right now. If they ever get you in a glimpse, they can just overload the side of the map with Nature's Prophet showing up as well. This hero can play in multiple roles, so not locked down where he goes exactly. However, with the bans that they have right now, Primal Beast, the Lycan as well as the Enchantress, it does have me feeling like they want to put this Nature's Prophet into the safe lane. If that happens, it means we still need heroes for Topson and Resolution to play, but nonetheless, I like that they have a hero that nominally, even if he does go into a different lane rather than the safe lane, he can also scale throughout the game, not just leaving no one on an island to have to carry by himself.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, right? Is it's a hero that scales really well and also plays really fast. So if they don't put it on no one, if Topson or Resolution plays it, then they can just easily have a hero that scales and then you 2 cores, right? And I think this Oldg roster is really going to. You have multiple cores. They can play track cores relatively easily. They can play dual cores if they want to as well, or they can just play the fast out of them. So I like that they've made this transition to the Nature's Prophet, which has been banned out a million times, and it does do relatively okay into the OD. Can just build the BKB dealing with the OD. Don't worry all too much about the clockwork. So I just want to see what heroes they play around it. Tusk is another good shout for Oldg. Well, Mirana also would have been a relatively good hero. You can just set things up with the Sprout into the arrow combination. Rezo, D2 Hustlers, they pick it up for themselves. So they've got a lot of good combinations with this Mirana. And I know this may sound stupid, but this is leading me more towards the OD being played in like the Astral into arrow combination. Super easy to hit. Means that you're able to catch at some of these other heroes. And then it just means that if you ever are in a bad spot for Kitrak, he can kind of just get caught out and died. And even if you get glimpsed back, the amount of damage that both these 2 heroes do means that IO Storm. Okay, alright.
Alright, they really want to win this game. They're like, alright, John, good job, nicely done, but we're playing some serious Dota now. It's no longer for kids, not for children anymore. Okay, I will also see that in the Oldg camp, there's no smiles in any of their player camps. Everyone has their heads truly in the game. So presumably they think this is going to be Storm versus OD in the mid lane. I have to come in for some sustain down the stretch. And although they've got a lot of good setup between the Clockwork, between the Mirana, a good IO relocate could really be detrimental to what they're trying to do. At the same time though, this does mean that D2 Hustlers have a really good shot if they can find a decent BKB carry who peaks in the mid game to try and challenge when the Storm IO is strong. I want something that can be able to close the gap onto the Storm Spirit as well. What's good here? CK maybe could be an option. I don't know if they play it for Yuma, but they probably want to hear that scales a little bit better, right? What stands out for you right now? Does he maybe go back for his Slog again?
Yeah, I think Slug could be okay. The IO like really doesn't deal with you at all. You can always catch up. Too bad. May have issues with. Oh, okay. Anti-mate. We are getting some sauce from both of these two teams right now. I've been seeing a lot of anti-mage go for more of a brawler build these days with like, you know, you go Vanguard into your battle. We maybe even just go Vanguard and try and skip out the battlefield altogether. But I like this anti-mage build. The IO doesn't deal with you all too much. You can deal really, really well with the Nature's Prophet split push. I was also thinking along the lines of like, as you said, with like the Slark, you could have even picked something along the lines of like a Spectre, which would have been really good for you. Gives you that extra bit of global presence as well, and allows you to kind of play around the fact that all it takes is you to just kind of sit in the jungle. Blade Mail is very, very good on that hero, and you can just constantly kill the IO and even just kill the Disruptor. Anti-mage is also a good shout. The one issue that I do have is the leash talent for the Nature's Prophet and the static sport. You can play around those, then you can have a good game here on AM.
Now I'm also thinking, right, about what they might try to do with this OD. Is Nah, it's not gonna work out. Never mind. I am very intrigued to see. Nah, not support OD. I was just thinking, like, are they trying to just get big combo plays with, as soon as a hero goes down, right, then you drop like Hammer as well as Mana Void on one target, and then that target just like 100% blows up every single time. But the execution of making that happen reliably is fairly difficult. We'll see as the game goes on. Oldg, they still need themselves a hero that's going to, they need to reveal where this Nature's Prophet goes. Is he occupying the safe lane for no one, or is he off lane for Rezo? And then D2 Hustlers presumably need to show us a Divine Llama hero. I do believe the way that they've been drafting, I would prefer this be the no one Nature's Prophet. And then we get something else that can play a body in the off lane for resolution. A lot of his heroes are gone though. So if it is an off lane pick that they are lacking here, if they do need some team fights, well, I don't have to ask you because they revealed it. Got BKB piercing disable, we've got some push, Nature's Prophet plus Beastmaster push. Nature's Prophet comes to join that side of the map, and you just rinse down these buildings super early on. Okay, I can dig it. What's your feeling about this BM in this game?
Yeah, I think it's relatively okay. You're able to deal with some of the other heroes. They do have the Astral Save though, and trying to roar an anti-mage is hard in and of itself. So I think it's good. It's more so the fact that it fits their lineup really. I don't think it's so much that it does well the D2 Hustlers squad. It's much more that like they have this insane pace and this insane tempo that they just get a few items on all of the heroes and they can just death. And if you're D2 Hustlers and Yuma again has to try and have this comeback on a hero like Anti-Mage, Anti-Mage is a hero that needs to be kind of on par with some of these heroes to have a fighting chance. He's that far behind, and that's hard for him to come out on. So I'd love to see them have a hero that's able to play the lane a little bit here up against Nature's, but I think maybe Mars is good for them. You can always set up on the IO. Okay, so they're going to have the underboard. You just want a hero that is able to provide you with a little bit of damage in a fight, but also give you that extra bit of lockdown onto the Dawn's Prophet. I think Underlord is good here. That gives them that extra bit of global presence with the Fiend's Gate. Well, Aura Builder.
Aura Builder. I think the Pit of Malice, surprisingly underrated against Io, makes his approaches into the team fight more difficult than they should be otherwise. The movement across the map. Before this, they were really struggling with methods to be able to deal damage to Roshan. Now they have some of that as well. Okay, I'm fine with this. But mainly the auras, like you mentioned, will be very, very useful here. Elongate the time that OG has to spend trying to kill off Anti-Mage. You just make the fight last longer and longer with all of these saves they have. The question is now, Fluke, after we've seen both of these last pick heroes, which draft makes more sense for you between Oldg and the D2 Hustlers? Who would you rather be playing if you're in an elimination game going into game 3 here?
I think I'd probably feel a lot better if I was on the side of Oldg, right? Like they just have these heroes that can constantly connect with each other and make some of these fights and these go from like a 2v2 into like a 2v4 very, very. Wisp drafts are hard to beat, especially a draft that has Seb at the helm, where he's played with this hero for many years, won TIs off the back of this hero, and plays it extremely well himself. So I think they're just going to put a lot of pressure onto D2 Hustlers, and if Yuma is able to stabilize it and play his lane fine, then I think they can have a Oldg. The way that they played the first 17 minutes of game number 2 just leads me to believe that this Storm and this IO and this Nate so fat that I don't think they get.
The difficult thing is now Topson is playing a hero that has much more capability of carrying a game past those first 17 minutes. However, D2 Hustlers, they have methods of stalling out this game, hopefully long enough for this anti-mage to really become the huge threat. I am very much looking forward to this third deciding game. Whoever wins will find themselves going 2-0 up in the leaderboard. Whoever loses will be experiencing their first loss thus far in the DPC. We'll be very excited to find out which way this one goes. So game 3, let's go. Oldg on Radiant, the D2 Hustlers on Dire. They've been playing Dire side every single game, so by now they should be 100% comfortable on this side. And also they have Theoloco on the clockwork, so he's gonna break the smoke. Will it cost his life? It will not. All right, good stuff.
Yeah, also one of those heroes for Theoloco that he can, but kind of can't as much as you can with really those big carry performances. So we're looking to see Abzandic step up this game. He had some good lanes up against Topson time around. If he's able to shut down the Storms, you're gonna look good here for D2 Hustlers. Lanes are very, very important for things can fall apart very, very fast, especially up against like an IO Beastmaster lane. They can put a lot of pressure on you, take your tier 1 tower early. They can rotate towards the lane. You always have to be careful of no one making a rotation with profit. So they can stabilize in laning phase and in this game pretty deep in, then we have a game on our hands.
And what do you think about this mid lane matchup between OD and Stormspirit in general? Is this one of the situations where OD does actually have a better lane, at least one winning lane here?
Yeah, I think the OD in the Storm matchup is pretty decent for OD. Like the Storm's going to be able to farm with Static Remnant, but it's super easy for him to just spam out these. So I don't think it's unplayable for the Storm, but there's definitely much more kill threat from Abzandic to be able to kill the Storm Spirit. But as soon as Topson gets 6, he's going to be able to just rotate in towards the jungle.
Let's see how this early game goes. Down bottom, we have Divine Element, the Theoloco. They'll be taking on Kitrak and no one. And it's one of the reasons they picked the Thunderlord. They don't anticipate him getting into kill slots early on. They get a glimpse back onto the Theoloco, presumably to stop him pulling the lane, but still going to be able to do so. And I think this bottom lane is not going to be filled with too much action. Luke, it's going to be lots and lots of farming. Unless like Disruptors that's out of position, but I don't think that's going to happen all that much.
Yeah, double melee lane into a double range lane is generally just kind of going to be a farm step, because, you know, the Natures is able to abuse the Unlord much like be able to, so there's going to be a whole lot of lane pulling shenanigans. As you can see, the Kitrak and Theoloco are literally chasing each other through the jungle. I want to have a brand new lane for the 4th lane, middle 2.0. Who's going to lose the game?
Jungle rule.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're. See, Ice Frog, he never misses, man. Who's going to lose the game of lane chicken? I think Kitrak has unfortunately lost the lane, the game of lane.
No!
It's super hard to contest against this clockwork, so you lose, what can you do? He's gonna be able to go back. Top lane, Seb is about to lose his life and he dies first blood. Going down to Hakoda on the Mirana. Okay. You would love to see it if you're a fan of the D2 Hustlers, as they take that. There's more space for Yuma to farm in the lane, and more time before he gets kicked out and has to farm elsewhere. Right.
Yeah, doing a good job at effectively trading, and this is kind of the one issue with Beastmaster into the anti-mage lane is he's gonna constantly deal with your mana. Yes, you do have an IO, but Io's not going to be able to offset the amount of mana that an anime. You can't go for this like axes build where you're trying to spam out the axes to do damage, and you kind of just have to hope that you can get a 4 every so often and
天灰信使已被击杀。
Now there's just going to be a farm fest on that side of the map here down bottom. Do see a glimpse back onto the Oldg, but is he going to die here? Gets into the trees. He gets some tree and spawned in around him. A couple more right clicks is all they need, but the Oldg is still alive. Getting on the other side here, juking them out. Got the Nikes on, but the kinetic field will be there. He had a little bit more HP or a magic stick. He might have actually lived a little bit longer, but that is not the case for him. Will end up burning away his life here. Alright, good stuff coming in from Oldg down in this bottom lane.
He's really well, and you can just see the Vile Armor is just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna hit some crits while you doing you, buddy. You just keep chilling. So,
has Ring of Health right now, so he should just be able to sustain himself pretty much forever down bottom.
Yeah, he's gonna be perfectly fine. There's gonna be no real pressure from Topson or Seb. But this mid lane is really starting to become more powerful.
天灰中塔正受到攻击。
They get some assistance coming in from this IO, but there's still enough damage from Agentic that they can threaten Topson's life. One more Astral Orb would have been good enough. He doesn't find it though. The tether from Seb will be keeping the Stone Spirit alive right now. They bring in no one with the teleportation of the Nature's Prophet. They really want to try and make sure they get this kill. And the right click did come out from Agentic. He's still alive though. They weren't able to bring him down. Another Fairy Fire. Magic Wand, Fairy Fire, and the Ring of Health arriving in clutch. Keeps him alive in the mid lane. So all these heroes, they make their presence felt, but they're unable to bring this OD down.
Everyone is on blinking health bars. Topson was on like 10 HP after like 15 auto attacks. It was like he was trying to armor toggling in the trees and picking up the Oldg court. We found out.
Surely they will have this one. Alright, they will. Agentic though has the Astral, can't find the range on Topson. Fortunately for him, does get it now, but certainly cannot close the gap to try and find the kill. A lot of action happening in this mid lane, but that's only the first kill. And the Oldg probably okay with this. Get the express trip home, and now he can come back with full sticks. Has everything topped up so he can keep being a nuisance again in this bottom lane. First while top, Resolution. Getting close to dying. Hakoda has a leap charge. You're gonna go after him. Rezo gets blinked upon right now. A couple of more right clicks will bring him down. One more hit from Yuma, but he's not gonna be able to find it. Hakoda went for the starfall, but the second one falls onto Seb rather than onto Resolution. And this IO of Seb yet again allowing the side of OG to play to the limit. Yuma though making sure that Hakoda ends up surviving as well. And yet again more blinking health bars, but no kills.
Yeah, you can just see that both of these two teams are really trying to min-max on each other and try and push the limits of their heroes. And this is kind of the issue with the early game for a lot of these different heroes, is they just don't have that extra bit, right? Like with the anti-mage, as soon as all the mana is really difficult. So hard to convert on their skills. So the really good job at getting themselves an early advantage here.
Dude, Oldg was actually a genius. He spent so much of the last few minutes playing around this mid lane, but the amount of time that he's spending here has forced the movement of Kitrak to come and spend time around middle to make sure he can offer up some defense. And that in turn means you're playing Nature's Prophet 1v1 into Underlord. Underlord with Vanguard is like, please, let me play this matchup every day of my life. So has a ton of CS to his name right now. No pressure can come out onto him from no one. This is all just by the Oldg just standing mid, and he's still doing it. He's not gonna actually go bottom whatsoever. He's gonna force reactions all across the map. He's heading top now. So Resolution and Seb need to be very careful about their movements. Hakoda has an arrow. If they come out of step, okay, I think one of them is gonna die here. The Oldg should be able to catch them. Seb is falling low. There's gonna be the arrow connecting onto Resolution. They keep him inside the power cogs. Yuma trying to help beat him down. They lack the damage, unfortunately, because of Seb. Might still try to run down Resolution between the three of them, and indeed they will. Rezo goes down in front of the tier 1 tower. Kitrax was thinking about coming top, but he's not going to be able to make it in time. That leaves them still playing 1v1 bottom. Kitrak is occupying middle. You were mentioning that normally it's been Oldg with the advantage in the earlier portion of the game, but D2 Hustlers, they're the ones sitting with a 2k gold lead right now, 7 minutes in.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of just putting the pressure on, and now was getting a kill on the set as he was trying to at least maybe get some wards down. The hustles
天辉中塔正受到攻击。
on top of these lanes.
我的机关被识破了吗？
No one to the high ground. He's gonna have to do that bottom. Yep.
I mean, even though they get that kill yet again, it's another reaction force from them. They're the ones that are pretty much playing into what D2 Hustlers want to do. They need help from mid lane. They're gonna try and maybe get a quick kill onto Adzentic. Kidtrack has access to the glimpse. Dropping down the meteor hammer. Gonna get interrupted by the glimpse play. Can they keep Adzentic alive? He's still gonna live. They drop the hammer down. He will die inside of these power clods. But the revenge is coming very fast. Yuma has made the rotation towards middle. He gets a kill onto this Raptor. And Disruptor will not be able to stay alive any longer. Yuma also is going to be going into the Vanguard. Looks like he might be going for the Radiance build this game rather than the Battle Fury. So he wants to be able to fight and be involved with his team as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, he could also just go for, I've seen animated if they're not going to go for the kind of, I would say the meme version of the Radiance build. You can just disassemble the Vanguard and go into the Battle Fury when you're ready to have it. So Vanguard feels better than what Perseverance does.
天辉军团全面加固。
Try and go.
夜眼上塔正受到攻击。
Like he's going through. He's having a fantastic game, so maybe he can do whatever he wants.
I mean, off the game 2's performance, he's allowed to do whatever he wants for the rest of the tour. He's like, boys, I'm doing this, and they can just say, okay, fine, bro. We believe in you.
But yes, sir. I'll follow along. No one is going for a Midas as well, so he understands he needs to try and keep parity with the anti-mage. Midas can help him do that. OD is going to be able to flash farm now as well, thanks to the Meteor Hammer, and he's a threat whenever you see him on a lane. But I know a lot of people have played up against the 13 Meteor Hammer. Same kind of deal these days. Whenever you see him on a lane, you have to be very careful to make sure that you don't overstep. Because if you do overstep and he just gets combination, it's very hard to deal with.
They're gonna come in with all heroes to try and kill him off so that combination no longer exists. They succeed in doing so, but Divine Llama has shown up to try and lend aid here. Cannot keep the OD alive, but they might be able to find revenge. No one gets blinked on by Yuma. Yuma, happy to be involved yet again. No mana for the Mana Void, ironically enough, but they should still have the right-click damage to bring down no one. Yuma, this game is going better than even expected. All three top pole positions in the net worth are being occupied by D2 Hustlers. He's had a free time in the laning phase. He's free to bound between top and middle. He's farming heroes, farming creeps. Divine Llama's pressuring bottom. It really feels like OG are struggling to make big plays happen. Yeah, every now and then they can pick off one of these cores, but the cost is almost way too much for them to reliably pay. Although they might be able to bring down Divine Llama, they're going to try and outnumber him 4v1 in this bottom side of the map.
They're
going to find out. Trying to TP, no way. Vortex will be there. In the meantime, Beastmaster dies on the other side of the map. But they go to 3 heroes, not necessarily with 4. They have to drop so many resources. He's still alive. Are you kidding me? Divine Llama. Oh my goodness. That took a long time for them to get that kill.
天辉中塔正受到攻击。
reaction as well. He thought that maybe he could just hit the LTP button. He'd say no. He did lose out with Kidtrack going towards that bottom side. Rezo did have to go back to base as well. Yeah, they did lose Rezo.
夜眼下塔正受到攻击。
So they trade an offlaner for an offlaner. I think you're probably a lot more happy with that if you are Oldg, because you can start to kick out this Underlord, right? Like where you start to move him off the map and you can start putting your emphasis in other places, because you have a Storm. And you have an Nature's Prophet now with the Hand of Midas, and you also have a Beastmaster. So, like, you don't really have a core who's going to do much on the map. And I guess that's why it kind of falls onto Topston to be the one that makes the rotations with the supports, because Nature's doesn't really want to do that. He wants to be the one that kind of connects in a little bit later on, and Rezo still needs time before he becomes...
So, fairly far away from the Overlord right now. He does not have it.
天辉下塔已被摧毁。
He only gets the Midas now on no one. Still going to be a little bit of time before this fully kicks in. There's a moment that D2 Hustlers can try and exploit this. They're moving top with the Moonlight Shadow. Both supports are covered by the dust as well. They're looking for Seb. They're looking for resolution. Go on to Seb first, preventing him from getting the quick movement thanks to the power cards. They come in with the Dark Rift too. There's a hook shot onto this Io, and Io should end up dying. However, they do protect resolution. And Divine Llama's like, well, I'm not here. He just goes right back. Yellowco will follow him, so they can mount defense onto this Underlord if needs be. But I don't think Oldg have any interest in trying to force a fight onto this Underlord right now.
No, especially not without a free tower.
Go on to the other core. The Nature's Wrath flying all across the map enables him to get the kill. Okay, Thompson getting some smoke.
I like that. I like to see that. If you're an Oldg fan, Thompson's starting to claw his way back into this game. It never really ballooned out to a point that was scary.
What do you want to see him build on Thompson after he finishes off his Witchblade? Is this a Sanjin Kai game for you, or should he go straight BKB?
I think you just kind of have to go BKB, right? Because you don't ever want to get into a scenario where you just like sit into a random skeleton like with no one so I feel like you're probably just gonna have to go straight BKB. Then you can choose your BKB duration to try and find the Marana. Get her killed off. Maybe you can even try and go in on the Outlaw Devourer, because he's going to be the one who's going to try and get going for his team. So if you go in on the OD at the same time, you can try and get a roll on the Animage or on the
They want to try come and save Adrian will Astro themselves. Will the team get here in time to save him? No, they will not. They'll on the bench, but they will find them. And here comes Yuma. Huge mana boy coming in, but not enough damage. He's still have like half his mana available. Seb gets them out. Okay. Not the best execution we've seen here from D2 Hustlers after they've lost Advantage. They really want to collect the life of Seb, but this feels a bit too dangerous. Gonna come back with Thompson. Thompson jumps forward, able to find the vortex out of the Hakoda. Hakoda not allowed to escape this one, as the Wrath of Nature also contributes some damage. And Thompson hoping to try to use the remainder of his mana to deal even more damage to the backlines. Unfortunately, Divine Llama shows up with the Crimson Guard. This is gonna stall out this push for so long. All these heroes beating this down, and they should be able to eventually get it, but it's not exactly the speed they wanted to make it happen. But ultimately, they still get it. That's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, just sending 5 heroes towards that mid lane, and that's exactly what I was kind of leaning towards when I was seeing the Storm as being the one that's making moves. He's one that's being able to play a little faster. He doesn't have to play so greedy, and there was a whole lot of mechanics being abused by Thompson. He was constantly spamming the ball lightning, so the OD could never get the Astral on him, and he eventually just had to Astral himself, and that was more than enough time for Kitrak to be able to come in. It's a very kind of hard game where you're looking at this and Oldg trying to claw back this lead.
They know that there's no relocate available right now. They're going to try and find this kill. Relocate just came back. Do they have the damage to kill the Storm before he's saved? Yes, they do. Seb also in danger now himself and should end up getting brought down. Adzensic with the double kill. All right. We find a little bit of a timing here onto the Storm Spirit. Good hook shot from the clock. And we spoke about what this clock can do for them. There's so many setup tools. You set up for Astral, you set up for Arrow. One spell guarantees that all the others can land. They just have to get that initiation if they can never find it.
Yeah, and they also need to make sure that they're in good positions to be able to capitalize it. But Theolokor is really doing a good job this series at making sure that his positioning is very good. Late. So, Lama, he's getting relocated on.
Taking them a little bit of time to get this kill. Eventually they are going to fight it, or maybe not. They get the Savage Storm out though on the 3 heroes. Meanhammer lands directly onto the Storm Spirit, but now there's no protection remaining for this OD. So they are able to kill him. Kitrak credited with the kill. A lot of work being done by the Storm. Unfortunately for them, Yuma, although his presence was there, the mana void not dealing enough damage to actually kill Storm Spirit. Alright, these small skirmishes are just going slowly but surely OG's way.
It's kind kind of funny that he used the Mana Void in that previous fight, but it did literally negative damage, so the fight rate didn't even pick it up. I'm pretty sure he Mana Voided him when he had like full mana, so maybe he was a little mistimed. But Oldg, once again, understanding timings, knowing how to abuse them, knowing how to abuse the maps they have, and get directly on Dalai Lama, who looks like a very immovable object. So definitely good news this time around, and they can transition that directly into Roche. They have one of the best Roche Aegis holding heroes in the game in the Storm Spirit. And now they're just, getting to a point where no one is only slightly behind. The Anti-Mage has will just let it build up as well. He just sits back and hits creeps until, Thompson, as well as Seb, just cleans up his skills, goes back to farming, and slowly shrink this map.
Has queued the BKB on Thompson. The Dalai Lama next up. I thought he had queued up the Blade Mail, but I like this a lot more, going for this Pipe of Insight. Magnum shot as well, it will be very, very good. So you can just pre-cast it and then get into the fight on top of the Static Storm. Doesn't have to force rush BKB. But the big item that's coming out soon is going to be BKB being available for Absentic. Somehow OD will no longer be afraid of Static Storm, only then has to fear the Primal Roll at this stage of the game. That's been the big bottleneck for them, that Absentic cannot play these fights safely just yet. Once he does, things look a lot better for them. Or should they smoke off